Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan and today I'm going to be trying Pendleton 1910, a 12-year-old rye whiskey coming out of Canada. And this sample was sent in from Delicious Dairy. He said, hey, I wanted to see if you agreed with me on this. And he's got some thoughts about this. I'm going to see if I reflect those same thoughts and feelings that he has. But I would assume if I was just going off of assumptions alone and you tell me, hey, I got a 12-year-old rye whiskey, I'm thinking, ooh, I love a good mature rye, and coming out of Canada. So I think like a lot of the older stuff that Whistle Pig does. I mean, I've got like their 18-year right there. That's a Canadian rye whiskey, 18 years old, nice and mellow, very sweet. And so that's kind of what I would expect out of a pour like this, 1910 from Pendleton. It is only 80 proof, so pretty, well, I mean, as low in the proof department as you can possibly get and still call it a rye whiskey. Anything under than that, you got to call it like a distilled grain beverage or something. So we'll get that poured, let that sit a little bit. I will say this, just looking at the bottle, I mean, it's a great bottle design. I think they spared no expense when it comes to bottle design. It looks elegant, it looks classy, it looks ritzy, high quality. I love the glass, the ornate glass on the bottle. What a beautiful look it has. I think it jumps off the shelf in that capacity. But I have to wonder, I'm looking at this and it's 12 years old in a beautiful bottle and it's going for $40 to $45 a bottle. So is that a steal or is that a sign? That's what we're about to find out. Is it a steal or is that a sign? Let's see. It's a very soft nose. I get a little bit of pineapple on the nose. That's kind of weird. Well, like a tropical fruit, little pineapple on the nose there. A lot of like Expo dry erase marker as well on the nose. My kids have like dry erase boards, like little small ones they can draw on in the car. Smells like those markers. I gotta look hard for it, but there is a sort of like a cherry and butterscotch note in there. It's real subtle. I mean, it does not jump out of the glass by any means. I will say I am pleasantly surprised at how viscous it looks. I mean, it is leaving a nice little oily film on the glass, but not super thick. But I expected it to look way thinner than that, only being 80 proof. So, mostly pineapple and markers on the nose. Let's try it. It doesn't even taste like rye whiskey at all. Tastes like a real cheap bourbon. I'm getting less flavor out of that than I get out of like the old Bardstown, $18 bottle. That bottle's got more flavor than it. Well, I mean, to be fair, it is 100 proof. This is 80, but that's an $18 bottle, and it tastes way better than this. A little bit of a maple syrup note, but overall it is extremely watered down, and there's a whole lot of just that like marker taste to it. It's like the predominant thing. Maybe a light hint of sort of like the juice that's left behind in those, the glass jars with the maraschino cherries in it. After you've taken all the cherries out and your kid's like, I want to drink the juice. It's kind of like a little bit like the watery juice left behind in the maraschino cherry jar. A subtle note of that. Mostly ethanol and marker. That tropical fruit note's completely gone on the palate though, and I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted it to be there. I'd say the things that stand out the most on the palate would be the maple, that just slight hint of candied cherry, and then mostly just ethanol and markers. The thing that I think I dislike about this the most is I appreciate when something is a deviation from the standard, as long as it's executed well and it has some great character to it. We've had a number of whiskeys like that right here on the channel that we've talked about, that we've reviewed, and we say, hey, this kind of paints outside the lines. It says, I am a bourbon, or I am a rye, or I am an American single malt, but I venture into these other territories that you don't expect me to go to, and I do it well. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of whiskeys like that that innovate, that push the boundaries, and they deliver a product that has a lot of character. It's really unique, very singular is a word I like to use. This one deviates. It does not taste like a rye. It doesn't even smell like a rye. Not a lot about this is very rye at all. But the direction that it goes is bland, watered down, blasé, very forgettable, very unremarkable. And that is a shame. I hate not liking whiskey. It would be my preference that every whiskey on the shelf is good. And I like it and I have nothing bad to say about it. You know, I don't want to disrespect anybody and their craft and the hard work that they put into something, into a product. But I can definitively say that I will never spend money on this bottle myself. Thank you, Delicious Dairy, for sparing me the $40 or $45 or whatever you might spend on it. But for a 12-year rye, that I would say is the definition of a disappointment. Yeah, save your money. Buy something else. Unless you like the bottle. Or maybe everything I described, you're like, listen, I love dry erase markers and light cherry notes. I'm in. Maybe that is you. Maybe that's your palate. Hey, far be it from me to judge you or tell you otherwise. If that's what you like, go get this bottle. For me and my money, this is a hard pass. Thanks again, Derry, for sharing with me. Hey, if you ever want to send a sample my way, just reach out via the Discord. A lot of the content that we get to make happens because you guys are so generous and you send in lots of samples for me to try things that aren't on my shelf right now. And I'm very appreciative of that. That way I'm not having to buy 4 to 5 bottles a week to make content here on the channel. So a lot of the content we make is bottles I can show you that I have right on my shelf that I've picked up with the Patreon money. And then a lot of the content we make is samples you guys send in. So thank you so much for helping me keep that content flowing. I appreciate you guys. If you want to check out the Patreon group, feel free to check the link in the description. We do fun things together. We're doing a virtual bottle share. So there's like 12 of us that signed up for it. And basically what we're doing is kind of like whiskey show and tell. You know, I've got a bottle from my shelf that I'm divvying up into 1-ounce sample bottles and sending out to all the participants. But I'm also receiving little samples from every participant. So I'm like sending out samples from one bottle, but I'm receiving 11 other bottles. And then we're going to sit down. I'll do it on a couple of nights. Everyone will sort of have a turn to talk about their bottle while we all taste it together. It'll be great. It'll be a lot of fun. And you can get access to stuff like that for as little as $1 a month. Is just the base tier of Patreon. Otherwise, there's other tiers if you want to support the channel in other ways. Really appreciate that support. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Derry. Cheers, everybody. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.